The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today on our webinar on the PMP 450 platform. I have the product manager, Matt Mangriotis, here today. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the text box on the right, and we will get to it throughout the presentation or at the end. And without further ado, here's Matt.
Hi guys, good morning. Thank you, Colin. I'm here today to talk about the PMP 450 platform and round up what's gone on in 2016 and kind of give you a little update to the platform, where we're at and where we're headed. So without further ado, let's go on. The 450 platform is our flagship distribution and access layer product. It's right in the middle of this chart on the bottom. And we go Cambium has products everywhere from long distances, 245 kilometers, down to indoor products that can service under a meter. So we can connect from microwave ends all the way down to inside the home to do wireless LAN products. And all of this will be managed under a CN Maestro product, which is a great management tool for managing all of your products under this one single pane of glass cloud-based tool or on-premise tool, which we just released a new version of that. Has a really slick look and incorporates all of the 450 products under that umbrella. So with the 450, it's continual performance evolution. Since its launch in 2012, we've introduced many frequencies. We support 2, 4, 3 gig, 5 gig, as well as 900. We support many modulation modes up to 256 QAM to give you the best throughput available. We've improved processing, packet per second processing on the radios, including introduction of new hardware. Most recently in the 3 gig space, the 450i, which improves PPS to the point that it should no longer be a bottleneck in a point-to-multipoint network. We increased MTU size since launch. We now support over 1,700 byte packets, which is very capable for anything including MPLS tagging. It has a feature-rich QoS system, which we will improve moving into next year as well. But it's fully functional and lots of features surrounding that QoS to be able to perform whatever you need from your network. So going over some of the recent system releases, we launched the Medusa product, the massive multi-user MIMO capable product, in late September. We're starting to ship more and more of those, so we'll talk about that. Now that's a big improvement in the platform and a big addition to the platform. And then most recently, in terms of hardware, we released the 3 gig 450i product, and I'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. Just yesterday, we launched the 15.0.2 software release and posted it on the website, so it's available now for download with many, many improvements on the Medusa platform, the 450M platform. We added lots of support for new features, new statistics. We added the spectrum analyzer back in. It's now completely supported under Maestro. And we also added a pretty important fix for the 900 megahertz product. So if you're having issues with 900 megahertz at all, feel free to download the 15.0.2 software, and that'll correct those issues. In January, upcoming in January, we have the 15.1 release slotted for towards the end of January. That will include 40 megahertz channels, and this will improve throughput on 450 and 450i significantly. Along with that, we will have the ATEX and Haslock versions of the 450i in 5 gigahertz. Those models will be released and available in January as well as the SFP support for 450M, the Medusa product. That's kind of the upcoming roadmap. So let's talk a little bit about 450i and 3 gigahertz. Again, this was just released, and if you have orders placed for this, we're looking to get those shipped within the next month or so. We're backlogged on orders significantly with this guy, and we're catching up as we go. But it was just released and fully available as of this week, actually. So it is a new radio design in that this is the 450i architecture. It'll cover 3.3 to 3.8, actually a little bit beyond 3.8 if that's available in your area. It has increased transmit power versus 450, but very similar to 450 in that it can achieve the EIRP maximum of the 365 band in North America, and it can get up to 25 dB combined transmit power. It has a little bit better sensitivity, about 1 to 2 dB better sensitivity than 450. It is built upon that new FPGA system on a chip architecture. It has about 50,000 packets per second now, but we are looking to improve that over time within the next year or so. We are able to support 30 and 40 meg channels on this guy, so we can achieve those higher throughputs that are required. It looks very similar to the 650 product, or exactly the same housing as the 5 gig 450i as well, to increase reliability and capabilities in harsh environments. And then we may do ATEX SASLOC if there's a strong market demand for that. Again, the change from the 450 is that this is 8023AT power scheme, meaning it's a 56 volt device, and it does have that aux port capability on it as well. We have launched not only the connectorized version, but an integrated subscriber model, as well as an integrated sector antenna. So Cambium has designed our own sector antenna that's attached to the radio, similar to the 5 gigahertz version, in 3 gigahertz as well. So that's out now. I see a question has come in. Let me pop that out and take a look at that right now. What do I mean by combined transmit power is the question. And I mean that it's a dual chain 2x2 MIMO product, as with all of our other 450 products. So that means 22 dBm transmit power per chain. And when you combine those, you add 3 dB roughly, so it's 25 dB combined transmit power. So Link Planner, I just want to say a note on Link Planner. We released 4.5.1 yesterday as well. CN Medusa was already supported, but we've made some improvements, and now the 3 gig 450i is also available in there. So the latest version of Medusa, Link Planner supports not only Medusa but also the 3 gig 450i. So that's great stuff. What you can do with Link Planner is actually input your existing sector, your 450 or 450i sector, and kind of see what the combined throughput of that sector is estimated to be, and then you can just swap that out with the 450M product in MIMO mode, in multi-user MIMO mode, to see what the impact would be or the gain would be by doing that. And we've been told so far that it's pretty conservative, so we're being a little cautious on what we're predicting, and that people in actuality are getting a little bit better throughput than what the tool is showing. So, but the beauty is you can do this and compare the two before you even spend any money on the equipment. So let's talk a little bit about Medusa. I know I've talked a lot personally about this product in the recent past, but it does not. It is the best thing out there in terms of unlicensed multi-point product. So it's worth talking about again. What we've done here is really bleeding edge or leading edge technical innovation in the platform. We can provide more than 3 times the capacity versus an existing 450 or 450i platform. This massive multi-user MIMO technology really allows simultaneous communication with up to 7 subscriber modules. So you can think about it as why don't I say it's 7 times the amount of throughput? Well, really, in reality, they have to be spaced out to take advantage of that. It takes advantage of spatial multiplexing. And so what we've found is that if you have a reasonable number of subscribers in the sector, you can achieve about 3 times that capacity pretty easily. It's supremely spectrally efficient. We can achieve over 400 megs in a 20 meg channel. And in a lab scenario, we've seen upwards of 500 megs in that 20 megahertz channel. So we're really efficient with the available spectrum. We're not just putting wider and wider channels out there, which some of our competitors do. It's hard to find clean space out there. So we're doing this all in a 20 meg channel that you're probably already using. We're protecting any investment in the platform by continuing to allow the existing subscriber modules to work with this product. And because of the uplink interference mitigation and the uplink sensitivity improvements, we have really good uplink improvement that'll raise the modulation levels of all of and increase the link budget of all of your subscribers back to that access point. This really helps out in terms of operating in a higher noise environment. And all this comes with enhanced processing capabilities. This is well over 1,000 packets per second. And being well over 100,000 packets per second will help in terms of that. It is one simple device to install. It'll increase reliability and eliminate all the connections from an antenna because it is a single package. We can have 0 RF cables to connect and weatherproof because everything's contained within this box. A single Ethernet cable can actually connect and fully deploy this unit. And it's reasonably sized for what it's doing. So I just want to share a couple of field results with you. I've presented this on a past webinar, so if you've seen it, it may be a little bit redundant, but if you haven't seen it, it's pretty amazing results. We replaced a 450 sector. This was early on. Link Planner was predicting about a 3 times improvement. It's a sector of about 81 subscribers, out to about 7 miles or so. And it's been running in what we call Multiuser MIMO mode for quite some time. And what you see in the graphs below is that we went from about a 35 meg peak at peak times to well over 90, and we believe that there's still capacity available. So we see that in the evening hours. You can kind of see towards the bottom that it's every evening it peaks out. Usually when folks come home from work and start turning on Netflix and streaming data, we peak the sector capacity, and we're seeing well over 90, and it's continued to perform very well. So more than 3 times the throughput on this single sector. At another trial site, we actually replaced 2 overlapping 450 sectors with a single 20 megahertz channel. So about 109 SMs out to about 9.8 miles. And again, we've shown significant improvement. So you can see in the graph on the left the overlapping sectors. One is shaded blue and one is shaded the pink or red orange color. And in the right side on the bottom, you can kind of see what the traffic is through that sector. During the testing phase, we had background traffic, which is down on the bottom, kind of the noise at the bottom, about 20 megs or so. And then we do it in sector mode. We test the entire sector throughput in sector mode, and we see about 40 megs. And then we do it again in flood testing in MIMO mode, in multi-user MIMO mode, and we can see it peak above 160. So we know that there's significant capacity to be had there. So just looking at the numbers a little bit, the 2 sectors, so we're adding the 2 downlink capacities of those sectors, and this is in Link Planner. We have 27 or so, and then another 27 or so, resulting in almost 54 megs in 40 megahertz of spectrum. And we replaced both of those sectors with a single 450M, and we're showing capacity of more than 110 and real-world usage of about over 80 megs in this graph shown below, in half of the spectrum that was being used before. So it's pretty amazing results. And we know there's additional capacity because our flood testing is showing well over 160. So questions being asked about the tools that are being used to gather these results or share these results. And a lot of our customers have homegrown tools. Some of them use what's called cacti to graph these results, and some of them use other tools. There's lots and lots of different tools available to you to use. And Maestro can actually graph this for you as well. So there's many ways of doing it. I don't know specifically on this one which tool it is. I think they've got some homegrown tools to maintain these graphs. But SNMP polling can pull the right data, as well as some other tools to do that. So since this initial trial, this customer specifically has installed more than 75 Medusa access points, replacing more than 100 450 access points. So in a lot of cases, they're replacing 2 sectors with a single 450M. More than 4,000 customers are live, and they're going nuts installing these things and trying to get them in and running before winter sets in. This is in North America, so it's maybe a little late for some areas, but some areas are still able to do that. Customers happy, we're happy, performance is being optimized, and with the release of 15.0.2, we have even more features and more benefit from you to go with this stuff. So very cool. Again, to recap what's in 15.0.2, we have uplink beamforming, which brings even better uplink performance when switching to the Medusa product. We can restrict the interference in the sector transport of link test and enhance the way that we do flood testing. So while sometimes link test is disruptive to the sector, now we can manage that and make sure that the installers, the troubleshooters, the support folks won't interfere with the sector throughput if that's what you want. So that's some of the things we added to that. We added some more statistics. These are in the release notes, so I won't cover them here, but in the release notes you can read about the new statistics that are out there to help you optimize Medusa even better. And Spectrum Analyzer is back, so we have the Spectrum Analyzer on there in case you need to tweak which frequency you're using. And then CN Maestro. We can manage that 450M along with all the other 450 equipment, and it's great to have that all in one place for troubleshooting and monitoring. So that's it. That's all I had to recap 2016. A couple of major releases. Obviously, Medusa is our big one in terms of performance. We've added more capability to the 3 gig in the terms of 450i. And at this point, I'd like to take questions. I did have a question about when 40 megahertz channels will be available in the platform. And the plan is January. The third week of January is when we're planning to release 40 meg channels. That'll be released with system release 15.1. And at this point, I guess I'd like to ask for any other questions. So I don't see any other questions coming in. Stay tuned. Oh, hold on. Here's some questions coming in. So a question is, will I have a light version? I assume you're asking about a light version of 3 gig. The answer is no, not yet. We will have the 450i integrated version, which will actually save you money over the purchasing the sector antenna and AP separately. But no, there's no plans right now to do a light version. So there's a question about the maximum number of subscribers you can have in a single sector and still get 25 megabits. So this is a question that comes up quite often. It's about how I rationalize capacity versus the oversubscription rate, if you will, on the subscriber side. So a lot of folks in the past have used things like 8 to 1, 10 to 1 in terms of oversubscription rate, and that still holds in some cases, but it really depends on the service level you're trying to give your customers. So if you have let's say if you have a 20 megahertz channel, you're able to provide about 100 megs of throughput. And if I'm trying to give each customer a 25 meg package, if I can tolerate about a 10 to 1 oversubscription, then I can fit roughly 25 customers on there, if that's something you want to do. Now, if you want to guarantee a higher service level, then you probably want to reduce that oversubscription and limit your subscribers. Now, again, replacing that sector with the 450M, likely you'll get about 3 times the amount of throughput if you have 30 or so subscribers. And so then we can talk about increasing the package to each, or if you want to maintain that 25 meg package, you can increase the number of subscribers significantly. So it really depends on how much oversubscription you're willing to tolerate. So the question originally about the light version was about for the 450M. And in terms of 450M, we have not a light version, but what we call a limited version, which is significantly different. And let me explain that for just a second. The limited 450M will allow you to purchase the 450M hardware without the multi-user functionality, meaning it's restricted from multi-user MIMO use. So you'll be able to take advantage of the beamforming in the uplink, as well as the enhanced packet processing and that sort of thing, and get that hardware deployed. And then you can upgrade later to MIMO functionality or multi-user MIMO functionality when the capacity is needed. And it's about roughly $2,500 cheaper in terms of list price to go with that limited version. So there is an option there. See your reseller for details. They have all the information on that as well. 450M, will it support 430 SMs? No, it won't. Some of the technique or the processing involved in getting those subscribers attached to that access point involves a sounding process, and that was just too processor intensive for the 430 subscriber modules, so we're not able to support 430s in a 450M network. The 450 SMs, whether they're 3 gig or 5 gig, are completely compatible and interoperable with the 450i of the same frequency. So 450 and 450i absolutely are interoperable. Some people have heard of a new subscriber module coming next year. I don't have a whole lot of details right now, but yes, there is a new subscriber module in 5 gigahertz coming next year in the May timeframe, and we will have a webinar on that and some more details on that as we get into the next year. So we're looking at a May delivery, and we're looking at making it a little bit more cost effective for everyone. And the question is, do we have a complete parts and number catalog for the 450 product line? The answer is that your reseller certainly does. You can look at a lot of what's available on the website, but I don't have a specific catalog as such, but our resellers certainly will, and they can help you with that. Okay, I think I've addressed all the questions thus far. Thank you all for joining. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to you guys, and we will see you in early next year, and happy holidays. Appreciate it.